YouTube. Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for June 2nd, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Marujo, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2021-0D00721, State of Texas versus Gracia Erica. Announcement of council, please.
For the state of Texas.
Derek White, on behalf of Ms. Gracia, respectfully ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. I think we just were continuing to see if we had an agreement on the last rec. Mr. Wyatt, where are we?
We do have a rec, Your Honor. The state has extended us a plea offer of time served on a Class B misdemeanor disorderly conduct. So we are going to certainly take that.
Okay, let me see. Is she in the waiting room? Oh, I saw her name there.
She's trying to connect, Judge. She's.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for my purposes then, we'll go ahead. There was nothing outstanding, right? There was no motions to suppress or anything like that, Mr. Wyatt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and set this for 2 weeks out. I'm only going to set it for a status at 10 a.m. Basically, that's just my marker, the court's marker, Mr. Wyatt, to say, hey, where's our plea papers? I would anticipate that date being the date when we actually do the plea.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's next?
In cause number 2020-0D01783, State of Texas versus Jane Avocado. Announcement of council, please.
King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you, Gonzalez. We have Ms. Avocado.
Okay, so Ms. Avocado, MIA continues to be MIA. Is that right?
I spoke with her yesterday, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
She promised me she'd come to my next meeting. I think she's homeless, Judge, based on what she's telling me. But I don't know.
Is she logged in or is she at your office?
No, she's not in my office.
No, she's not logged in, Judge, but she did check in yesterday.
Ms. Keene, if you can give me the plea paperwork on that. I mean, there's no A and B because they're not family. So.
Right. I did see your email and I believe I corrected my self last time on the record, but I will go ahead and also put that and I will send.
Because last time you said deadly weapon finding, I don't know how we would do that on a misdemeanor. I've never done that in 23 years.
I apologize. This was reduced to a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I'm
You're
sorry.
correct.
Yeah.
I'll send you the time served paperwork.
Yeah, can you send it to me ASAP? Because I'm starting a trial next week and I'm going to be gone for about 10 days. So I'll try to get it done as fast as I can, Judge.
Okay, I don't want to mess around too much with resets because I just think that lends to more issues. I'm not real psyched that she wasn't here today, though. I know she checked in, but I think I was asking for her to be here today. And so I will go one more time, but I mean, we're talking like 2 weeks. And I'm going to do it in person in 2 weeks.
I won't be there, Judge.
Well, can you get somebody to sub in? Somebody to cover the plea?
I can try. Let me see. You know what, Judge? In 2 weeks, I might be in trial, Judge. I'm out of town. I got a vacation certificate. I mean, I understand how you want to do it, Judge, but this is.
If not,
I'm just try to get her in.
I'm just going to issue a KPS for arrest and she can get here when she can. We can do it on Tuesday in person.
Judge, if I may.
At 11 a.m. No, hold on. We're going to do it Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm assuming you're not in trial and not on vacation, right?
Tuesday the 7th.
Yep.
I can do that. I can do it at 11 on Tuesday, Judge. I just want to check my calendar. I just want to make sure because I have like 4 settings in the morning, but I'll be done by I have a hearing at 10:30 in probate court. I'll just do it there, Judge, and then I'll go down to you.
Yes, that's fine. My main point.
Let's get it done. I want to get it done, Judge. I agree. Sorry.
My main point is I want her here. And I understand she might have some difficult circumstances, but we've had so much trouble. You're well aware because you filed a motion to withdraw. And I just don't want this dragging on any longer. 11 a.m. on Tuesday in person. I'm anticipating that'll be a plea. Okay. If she's a no-show, let her know. She doesn't show. I don't care if she's called, whatever. If her body is not physically here, I'm going to issue a KPS for her arrest.
And we'll be to do the plea that morning, right?
As long as she wants to plead.
Perfect, Judge. I'll get it
All
done.
righty. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Okay. Who's next?
In cause number 2021-0D00640, State of Texas versus Randy Alexander Martel. Announcement of council, please.
Well,
Hold on. On the Martells, we need to call both co-defendants.
And cause number 2021-0D00641. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Morning, Your Honor. Joe Spencer on behalf of Randy Martel.
Felix Valenzuela on behalf of, I'm Randy Martel.
Yeah, sorry, Christopher Martel, Your Honor.
Please, Mr. Spencer, please. It's Thursday. It's been a short week and it's been a little difficult. One's got one L, one's got two L's. Things are nuts. But
Just
thank
trying
you,
to keep me on my
gentlemen.
toes, Judge.
Thank you, gentlemen. I just want to ensure, because your clients are both in custody, that you're okay proceeding without their preference.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me see, where are they? Let me get to each one of these on Odyssey. The reason I asked for this hearing was because I know we had anticipated the whole issue with the testing. And I believe at some point, I'll make sure I'm on the right. I think what we had contemplated in scheduling that June hearing was that if we did not have some progress on testing, that we would be looking at having an in-person hearing with someone from DPS. Actually, I say in person, but it might have been agreed to Zoom. I'll have to check on that one. But it was going to be the point in which we find out from DPS what the holdup is on the test. I believe defense counsel was each supposed to provide a list to the DA's office with the specific items to be tested. So all of those things, I want to make sure we're not spinning our wheels for that setting in a couple of weeks. So whoever wants to start, please give me an update.
Sorry that I did actually meet with two individuals from DPS yesterday. The items were actually, they received the 79 items, I believe, that were submitted by defense counsel. They received them yesterday. They did raise a time concern that was before I was assigned to this case. I believe that were mentioned during previous evidence reviews to Mr. Spencer. And I have actually uploaded this morning to portal the DPS manual of the timeline that it would take for these items to be tested. And also today I will be filing a motion to reconsider those evidentiary items. DPS told me.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. What do you mean? A motion to reconsider what?
Your Honor, so when I met with DPS yesterday, there was the time constraint of approximately we're looking at 1 year or 2 years to have all these items tested. Initially, before this list was submitted, the state did submit what the state thought is vital in this case for DNA testing, and also we have ballistics testing as well.
So let me stop you right there, because I'm going to start asking some specifics. When was that request made? When did the state submit to DPS the request for testing the items you all thought needed to be tested?
I will get that date right now.
And while she's looking that up, defense counsel, Ms. King mentioned 79 items. Is it fair to assume that those were identical lists from each of your cases? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Your Honor, on portal, there are 3 reports that were uploaded. 2 of them were uploaded November 17, 2021 with the results, and another lab report was uploaded December 2021. The request was made on, I believe, October. Let me just double make sure. October 8, 2021. And I believe that's when the second evidence review with defense counsel was supposed to occur. Let me just look at my notes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood. Since we had the issue that resulted in the March order, March 2022 order, you're not telling me the state has made an additional request of items that you have identified you all want tested, right? Because you're
Correct.
telling me about 2021, so this is all the old stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay, so since then, pursuant to the hearing that we had, I think it was also in March, defense has now submitted to the state 79 additional items. I'm assuming there's no overlap to be tested. Now I want to be clear, when did the state receive that list of 79?
I received, let's see. So March 23rd is when I received the list. I conducted, for me personally, to have to go over the list with EPPD at their property office. That happened on March 28th. I did send an email to defense counsel to clarify item number 3 that they requested on the list. I did receive an email that they clarified what that was. It was just a mistake of initially it was placed the badge number of the police officer instead of the item number.
Sure.
And all 79 items have been submitted and now is in DPS lab as of yesterday morning.
Okay, so when did you all submit all of that to DPS? What I mean by that is the request, right? When did you do that?
Your Honor, that was May 17th.
Okay, so almost 2 months after the list. Okay. All right. What else has occurred?
That says, that's all I have.
So let me make sure then I understand. On May 17th, the state provided DPS with a list of items to be tested once we had all the clarification. And now I guess, was it yesterday you spoke with DPS and they're saying it's going to take a year, 2 years to test. Okay. And that's where we are, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Spencer, Mr. Valenzuela.
So, Your Honor, if the court will recall, we did have that bond hearing on March 8th, 2022, and that's when the state represented that they were going to expedite and rush the DNA testing. The court entered its order March 23rd, ordering that the state produce the results to defendant no later than 60 days after our production of the list. And as the state mentioned, we did produce that same day, March 23rd. Now we're way past the court's deadline and we're still waiting on the results. This case has been pending for over a year now. At the last hearing, the court said the court would reconsider bond, given the extreme delay on behalf of the state. And in all fairness, Ms. King, this was a VP unit for, a unit case for a while before it was just recently assigned to her. And so the delay, I mean, before that hasn't been to her fault. But because the extreme delay and our clients sitting, waiting in jail, with, again, no criminal history, completely clean backgrounds, respectfully ask the court to reconsider the bond at this point.
Okay, so before we get to the bond, whenever we're talking about the bond, I am going to ask, although I know I've mentioned it in relation to the discovery issues here, if you want me to reconsider it, please file a motion and we'll get it scheduled. However, for this June 27th hearing, I know Ms. King is saying, I guess we have the DPS manual that goes by standard timelines, but there is an order and we've been kind of on this issue for a while now, even though we addressed it in March, I guess a little more formally. the delay was not new. If I remember correctly, back in September 2021, this was again one of a handful of cases that had not been worked up by the DA's office. And in fact, I think these two cases were the first two that came to my attention, especially, well, at this level, right? If we're talking a murder, capital murder, whatever it was, that brought the court serious concern about how diligent we were handling things, of course, with clients who are in custody. And so I'm asking then defense counsel, I don't have a problem keeping that hearing, and we're going to need witnesses to come in here and tell me why you cannot follow this order. Simple as that. Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, if I may, when I
Sure.
spoke to DPS yesterday, they were willing to come and kind of explain to the court and defense counsel, and they are available as soon as tomorrow, should the court would like for them to come in person.
Well, we have a hearing scheduled. I would like subpoenas out there for whoever it is you are representing that is going to come in and say this. But I mean, I don't just want somebody who's going to regurgitate what is in their manual. I want to know specifics as to testing, when requests were made. I mean, if we have to go through 79 individual pieces of evidence and get the specifics on why, ultimately, I know I know defense counsel is already talking about a bond in terms of relief, but I don't know if there's going to be other requests. And so I am going to keep that date. I know, Ms. King, I know you're well aware that we'll have another murder trial going on at that time, but we can work on scheduling. The only thing I may ask is that maybe we start at 8 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. so I can get back to the trial. So just anticipate that. Myrna, maybe we should go ahead and just make that change. Keep the date because I don't want to mess with the date, but we'll start earlier so I can get back to our trial. Also, Marufo, with that hearing, we'll have to just logistically, you know, we'll have to have both Mr. Martels transported over. So maybe a little just logistically, we probably just won't have the jury come in till later. In any event, I'm ready to hear everything on that hearing as long as everybody else is good to go. I just did want that update. I didn't want to get to the 27th and find out, oh, we just talked to him yesterday. So if you all will be prepared, if there's anything that you want the court to consider in terms of any relief or any other updates prior to that date, please just file it and email it to the court so we can have our hearing on that Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen, Ms. King?
No, Your Honor.
All righty. Thank you very much. Y'all are
Thank you,
excused.
Judge. May be excused.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Who's next?
In cause number 2021-0D00758, State of Texas versus Alex Anthony Rodriguez. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Alex Shawala for Mr. Rodriguez. We're ready, Judge.
Okay. Did you get your jury sheets?
We did.
Okay. I was not able to get Commissioner's Court. I'm unclear why, but we still were able to secure 2 panels. Where are we on this one? Is the
Your
state
Honor.
ready?
Your Honor, the state is ready. I did try to reach Mr. Shula. I tried to reach your office. Maybe I have called a little early. It was around 7:30. Just
I would
to
take-
talk about.
Cool. So I wouldn't.
What
So
was that?
What were you trying to reach me about?
To just discuss the case and some things that came out, that came up to my attention when I was reviewing the case and seeing if we can potentially work it out or.
No, I mean, I'll take a dismissal or I'll take an acquittal with all due respect. So I hope you listened to the statement. I just listened to it right now. She says on the statement, you know, that the girl got out of the car and she's the one who attacked her, which, by the way, you have already dismissed the case against that woman. So
Okay.
not sure what we're doing.
So I don't know if it was in the email, Mr. Marufo. I think I have it in the text. How many do we have in the morning? 57? And
We
then
have 67 in the morning and 70 in the afternoon.
okay, alrighty. So I think the only thing pending was charts. I think there's only 2 cases for tomorrow. And I think they're co-equal. I'm not gonna say 1 and 2. They're about the same. So, all right, it'll be in the courtroom. If you all will be here, you know, I would say about 8 o'clock just to take care of any preliminary matters. And then we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay. Just logistically, should we plan for any evidence tomorrow, or are we just picking the jury?
So I would say no. The reason why is if we have to go to the second panel for whatever reason, I mean, it's known to happen. I don't want to tell you, yeah, maybe, when it's just so just plan for evidence to start on Monday.
Gotcha. Okay. See y'all in the morning.
See. All right. Who's next?
Back on page 1, Judge. In cause number 2021-0D01738, State of Texas versus Ivan Cruz, Olaf, Villarreal, Pereguellos. Announcement of council, please.
We're looking for the state of Texas.
Mr. Macias, are you muted? Did you announce?
Good morning, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Francisco Macias for Mr. Pegueros Villarreal, and we're set for trial on the 14th of July. Let me see if I have somebody in jail that's set to go to trial then.
Mr. Marufo, is he in the waiting room? Is Mr. Pegueros in the waiting room?
I only have an iPhone that I have not been able to identify, Judge.
Have you had any contact with your client, Mr. Macias? I know last time we were kind of giving you a chance because he had kind of been MIA.
Yes, Your Honor. My secretary just spoke to him and he's trying to log on, but you know, I look at his age and he may be technically challenged as I myself am.
Okay,
But
let's bring in that iPhone and see if that's him. See, there's a warrant, but it's just traffic warrants. Is that right, Miss Emily? I'm sorry, you're muted too.
Yes, Judge, I believe so.
Okay.
Which?
Who was that?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if he's not the person and the person on the iPhone is connecting. If he is not that person, I am at this point going to pull his PR bond because I know we had issues with him appearing before, and I'll be requesting a PR report. In terms of, I had not seen, I see the motion for continuance was filed yesterday. I had not seen that, Mr. Macias. I'll be very, let me ask, is this your first motion for continuance?
Well, it shouldn't be a motion to continue the trial. It should
It's for
just be a
today.
motion to continue today's setting.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
I was supposed to be in a federal debriefing, but I see that I have Robert Armendariz going to trial with you on the 15th. And I guess I have him. No, I don't have him on the 14th, but I have Ivan Cruz, Olaf, Pegueros, Ms. D. But I'll be ready to go to trial on the
Myrna, would you please get with PR to get me a report on Mr. Pegueros Villarreal, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, I do see this is the fourth motion for continuance from defense.
No, well, he only asked for a continuance of today's hearing and didn't end up needing it because he's here. He is not asking for a continuance of the trial. Am I right on that, Mr. Macias? You're not asking for a trial.
Correct. No, I'm not asking for continuance of the trial. I'll
Okay,
be ready to go to trial.
sounds good.
But are we gonna go on the 14th or the 15th? We
They're
have
both-
trial.
They're both days. What I have is 2 panels secured per day. That's since we have to utilize, I guess, less folks just because of the limits, the capacity limits. I secured multiple panels. So anticipate it will be,
No, over here. I don't want you to pull his bond because
I would have him on the line. He's trying to connect, but he says that he doesn't know how to connect on his phone. But he's on the line right now.
so I'm going to get a PR report. I won't do it based on his attempts to appear here now, but I want to find out from PR if he's reporting there because here he had been missing for quite a while now. So I won't do it solely because of his, I guess, technological issues, but I want to find out from PR if he's reporting there. And if he's not in compliance there, I am going to issue a capias. Okay,
well,
I'll let
if
you.
you're his first up on July 14th.
I'm
We're
sorry?
in jail. Well, if you arrest him, then we're first up.
Yeah, my docket for those 2 dates is very full. So I don't know if you're first up, but Mr. Macias, I'll keep you in the loop. Let me see if PR has him checked out and he's reporting, then we have no problems. Okay,
But what I'm saying is that if you do revoke his probation or his
PR bond. Mhm.
parole or pretrial services, then he would be in jail and we would be first up, regardless of how busy your docket is.
Sure. Well, with all due respect to Mr. Macias, he's not the only person in jail. So
Oh, okay.
there are other concerns, but I appreciate your concern. Thank you very much. What is the rec on this case?
Your Honor, it's going to be 5 years probated for 5 straight probation.
Okay,
And when should we expect our jury verdicts sheets?
the week of,
Excuse me?
the week of trial,
Oh, the week of trial. Okay,
correct. Mhm.
all right.
All righty, so we have our settings. Like I said, if I get a negative PR report, then I'll make sure to let you know, Mr. Macias.
All right, Your Honor, I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you. May we
Mhm,
be
bye-bye.
excused?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Let me find out who's an iPhone user. What's your name, ma'am? You're
You need
muted,
to-
ma'am.
Crystal Herrera.
Okay, Ms. Herrera. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room and we'll be right with you.
Okay.
Who's next? And I see the interpreter. Who's the interpreter here for?
For Carpio, Judge.
Okay. And Carpio, he had a new attorney. Is that what it is?
I believe so, yes, Judge. He's in the
And-
wait, Carpio's on the waiting area.
Uh-huh. And who was the new attorney assigned to Mr. Carpio?
I did not get that information, Judge, but I will find out.
Myrna, do you know?
Judge, I'm sorry. I have the officers here. I was talking to them. I didn't hear you.
Okay. Mr. Carpio, he was supposed to have a new attorney. Did we get a new attorney assigned to him?
Yes, ma'am. Manuel Parra was appointed to his case.
Is he here?
He was here earlier, Judge, but I don't think he knew he was appointed. But I can get a hold of him, Judge.
Well, my concern is, do we need the interpreter for anything else?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Okay, then I don't want to keep Ms. Santos waiting. Unless we have Manny Parra right now, I can just go ahead and explain to Mr. Carpio that his attorney will be getting in touch with him. Does Mr. Carpio have future settings?
Yes, ma'am, he does.
Okay. Ms. Santos, I
Yes, Your Honor.
apologize if you've been waiting for a while. I had only seen you right now, so thank you very much. I will go ahead and take care of Mr. Carpio.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
So you don't need me, Your Honor?
I'm being told we don't need an interpreter for anything else. I think I can do the Spanish for Mr. Carpio.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Señor Carpio,
Sí,
el nuevo abogado suyo va a ser Manuel Parra. La corte yo ya ha designado que él va a seguir adelante representándote. Él estaba aquí anteriormente, pero la corte ha tenido muchos casos aquí en Zoom y en la corte aquí físicamente. Así que se tiene que poner su abogado en contacto contigo, tú con él. Si necesita su información, puede hablar aquí a la corte para que le den el número donde contactarlo, ¿ok?
ok.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Parra. Okay, got it. All right, Mr. Carpio, muchas gracias. Póngase en contacto con el señor Parra.
Ok, está bien.
Okay, gracias.
Gracias.
All right, and I'll get with the officers in just a second.
Tapa
Okay.
PJ.
Who?
Armendariz, Tapa PJ.
Go ahead.
Let me bring him in. Let me bring her in. In cause number 2018-0D0-6630, State of Texas versus Pamela Maria Armendariz. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Alyssa Nava on behalf of my client, Ms. Armendariz, Your Honor.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right. And Ms. Armendariz is connected. Yeah, she's connected, although she's muted appearing remotely. Ms. Nava, you filed a motion to recall KPS or warrant. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm asking that the KPS be recalled. I'm not sure if the state is going to seek a revocation for Ms. Armendariz. I did try to reach out to to ADA King on the 23rd of May. However, I have not heard back from her. But Ms. Armendariz is a mother of 4 young children, aged 3, 5, 7, and 12. She does not have the support of their father and is actually a victim of domestic violence at their hand. At the time that she stopped reporting, her ex began to harass and threaten her. He was then incarcerated and has remained incarcerated. However, there are people who have threatened her at his direction. They go to her home and harass her. This has been, Ms. Armendariz is an incredibly frightened woman for both her and her children. She is currently working with the Center Against Family Violence to secure a new home and to secure employment. They have helped her secure daycare so that she can start to work with Workforce Solutions. She's actually scheduled for tests next week to begin her career. And so she wants to continue on probation. She wants to be successful on probation. And now that her ex is incarcerated and she has the help and the resources of both VAWA and the center, she can be successful. VAWA and the center have helped her now relocate to a new home. She should be relocating, I believe, in the next couple of days. She has nobody else to watch her children. There are concerns with her family if they know where she lives, that her ex will then also know where she lives. I believe that probation is recommending that she stay on probation. We ask that the warrant be recalled so we can, 1, work with the state to resolve this issue, or 2, in the alternative, that a reasonable bond be set so she can bond out, care for her kids, and that we can negotiate this, and try to work it out.
What's the state's position? Anything, Ms. King?
Your Honor, I believe I wanted to request a violation notice so we can file a revo. Let me see, I
see a motion to adjudicate filed back on July 9th. Was that one dismissed?
I see that it was still pending.
I think that's where the warrant came from, right? So I have on there motion, failures to report for the month of March and June, and then some other technicals for a period of time. Carla, I'm not seeing on the report here, did she make any efforts to kind of get back on track with probation? I didn't see that.
No, Your Honor. In fact, due to her continuous not reporting, the case was transferred to the caseload for the unable to locate. The case expired last year in August 2021. And she, besides not reporting, she didn't complete her theft class. She didn't do community service. The warrant is active on the MTR that was filed last year. And I did want to let the court know that I did request and I did verify an updated rap sheet, and there are no new offenses.
Okay, that's good. So the recommendation from probation is to extend her from 1 year to complete a theft class, community service, and pay off the financial obligations, which I guess includes some restitution. Well, her probation fees are at $60.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you know, I know we're talking about recalling the warrant, the bench warrant, but realistically, I just, you know, she's been MIA for a while and I understand the circumstances, but we need to get her on track. So if she's agreeable to a 1 year extension, then I don't have a problem. We go from there, dismiss the warrant, move forward, and she needs to comply. I don't even need a financial assessment. I'm going to retroactively reduce her probation fees to $25, so that will alleviate some of the financial obligations. But that's where I am. I don't know if you need to speak with your client, Ms. Nava. To me, I'm not going to kind of like leave that outstanding and recall the warrant. So she either decides that she was agreeable to the 1 year extension, as kind of I've explained here, or that warrant stays in place. So,
Your Honor, we have discussed her staying on probation and she does want to complete it. So we are amenable to being kept on probation.
Your Honor, if I may add something, I know we had kind of discussed this case briefly off the record with, I had asked Ms. Nieto, you know, she's not here. I had asked Ms. Marissa Nieto regarding, I understand the KPS needs to or attorneys asking for it to be recalled, but because the case has expired, if she doesn't get booked on the KPS, it is my understanding that we would lose jurisdiction on the motion to adjudicate.
And Your Honor, if we could, I don't think that she has an issue with getting booked, but if we could set, you know, a PR bond that she can go get booked and then back out on probation. I don't know how we can do that where she's not incarcerated for some time.
right. So Ms. Bustamante, maybe you can chime in here. Is it a matter of where we can get her booked and immediately then have a full PR bond order so that we kind of keep jurisdictional?
Yes, I believe so, Judge. I'm trying to see the.
So is that something where they do like a satellite booking thing and then immediately have the PR bond order? So Ms. Bustamante, if you will prepare an order for, you know, a $5,000 PR bond, just to the conditions being that she follow the probation in this case, that would be the only thing to put on the PR bond order. And then I think Ms. Nava, you need to schedule a time to have her do the satellite booking, let us know, and then we go ahead and enter the PR bond order.
Sure.
And then Ms. Pineda, I'll need the modifications, the extension and the modifications with respect to the probation fees. I think that's the only thing. Unless probation was recommending something else.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, I think we're just trying to finish her probation out. And so I'm fine with that process. I don't know who you have to schedule it with, Ms. Nava, but as soon as you do, if you'll let us know and I'll get the order, the PR bond order, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. So we're going to deny that motion to recall for those reasons.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
If I may, please just remind the court, if we're gonna proceed with this plan with the extension, we need to take care of this before August 12th because of the anniversary.
Myrna, let's do a status in 2 weeks just to keep a heads up. I feel like you all will take care of it. We won't need a status, but we'll just do that to keep tabs on it. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Ms. Armendariz.
Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you, Carla.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's next?
Back on page 7, Judge,
Mm-hmm.
in cause number 2018-0D06649, State of Texas versus Steven Serrano Gutierrez. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Judge, I'm gonna go get Mr. Ortiz.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Gutierrez is logging in, Judge.
This is the one, Carla, I'm gonna have a question on the, I don't know if, I can't remember if this is the one that you said that somebody, Mr. Trejo or somebody was gonna come in on. But on the monitor report, let me go to like April 17, right after he has the positive. Let me get there.
Yes, Your Honor, that is the date.
Okay, so we have the positive on the 17th. Okay, yeah, there it is. I
Positive
don't know what
reading
page this
and
is.
then blow immediately afterwards, so.
Right, so the report goes from April 17th. Hold on, let me see. Oh, it was like, I thought I saw a skip of a few days. Holy smokes. Hi, Mr. Ortiz, I'm sorry, they sent me the
Hi, Judge.
monitor. Hi, they sent me the monitor report and I was just asking Carla for some clarification. Oh, there it is. From April 14th to April 17th. Do you see that page? I think it's page 27. I'm gonna ask some questions about that. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Calling cause number 2018-0D06649, State of Texas versus Steven Serrano Gutierrez. May I have announcements, please?
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Judge Ruben Ortiz on behalf of Mr. Gutierrez.
And Mr. Gutierrez has been patiently waiting in the waiting room. I keep looking and I see his name there. So thank you very much, Mr. Gutierrez. We're scheduled today for a motion to remove the interlock or it's actually a portable monitor, Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
So you know, probation did provide me with a case summary and a report from the device from April 1st to May 1st. And so I've between everything been trying to review that. I will tell you, he had a positive test, a 0.05 breath test. Oh, let me go back. I don't want to lose my place. April 17th, Carla, is that when it was?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then I don't think there was the violation retest was skipped and we don't have another test until about 10:15. I have some questions for probation because I also have down testing. He tests April 14th. And I don't know if we're just missing a page in this. No, we're not, because it goes from April 14th to April 17th. Do you see that, Ms. Pineda? I think it's on page 27.
Yes, you're right.
And why would that be? Because it looks like he had a full weekend that nothing's documented. Do we know any issues, Mr. Gutierrez? Have you had any issues with the monitor in April? You're muted.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, I was having issues. I reported them several. I have some pictures that I downloaded and I printed out for you. What happens is it says that it's a cold unit. You have to plug it in and you have to wait for it to warm up. I've had those issues. I tried getting a hold of Ms. Ibave on the 17th. I left it on the counter. It picked up some chemicals. I called it in. They said to hold off, to clean it, wipe it down on the bottom because there's a vent on the bottom of the monitor. And I called in and then they told me to report the next day with the probation officer. And Ms. Ibave didn't answer me till May 27th. So I didn't talk to her, and I didn't get a chance to explain to her. And I told her I took pictures, I have the printouts, I have all the emails that I was trying to get a hold of her, but she didn't call me. So I didn't even report for this month because she never called me back. She didn't call me till the 27th, which was last week, and she just told me. And then she told me everything was fine. And then like maybe an hour or two later, she called me back. Oh, would you this and this and this and that? And I was like, Mr. Bobby, I was trying to get a hold of you and explain to you my situation, but you didn't answer me. And then my son had surgery in Midland, and I needed a permit for work because she switched me the monitor, said that I was in violation, but I never was, Judge. You let me have my car monitor, but she said you didn't, and I was in violation. So she switched me to this new monitor. And this one's a lot more sensitive.
Hold on, Mr. Gutierrez, hold on. That's a lot to take in. When did you switch monitors?
She switched me, I believe, in March. March or you know what? I can't even remember, ma'am.
We may have gone from an interlock to a portable because the report I have is for the in-home unit. So I'm good with that. Let me go back to probation real quick, and then Mr. Ortiz, I'll come to you. Ms. Pineda, why do we not have anything in this report for those days?
I see that, Your Honor, and I am trying to send Ms. Ibabe a message to see if she would have further explanations, since she is the one that receives the reports. I don't see that the page was cut off from the.
No, it goes, that's what I was looking. I was thinking maybe there was a page missing, but it goes from the 14th and on the same page then starts on the 17th. So we're missing 15 and 16. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Let me, now, Mr. Ortiz, let me get to your motion. I guess it's a request to remove the monitor. Is that the request you're making?
That's what it is, Your Honor, since he's completed over half of his time on probation, Judge. We motioned for that request, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, Ms. Ibabe will be logging on shortly.
Okay, so we're going to get to the bottom of some of those concerns, Mr. Gutierrez, but let me go back to the actual case summary on your case. Does he have permission to drive, Ms. Pineda? The notation I see in the report says commercial driver's license expired on November 17, 2021. So that leads me to think he was allowed to drive, but I don't know if we have a valid driver's license and insurance.
I believe the conditions of probation, Your Honor, don't have him allowed unless the court grants permission. Let me double check.
Yeah, okay, I see that column ahead. It says you shall not operate. I thought, am I getting him confused, Mr. Ortiz? He's a truck driver, or?
Mr. Gutierrez, are you a truck driver?
Diesel mechanic, but I was able to drive.
Okay, well, let me remind you, I'm not gonna ask you to tell me anything. I'm not gonna ask you any more questions, but let me remind you, the conditions state that you are not, unless there's a modification I don't see, you are not allowed to operate a motor vehicle. I'll tell you this right up front. If I were to either change that or I have changed that, the only way you can do that is with a valid driver's license and insurance, Mr. Gutierrez, okay? Right off the bat, Mr. Ortiz, hold on, Mr. Gutierrez, because I do want to get to the bottom of some of these issues you're having with getting, I guess, clarification for probation. Mr. Ortiz, I am not going to remove a monitor. I'm certainly not going to remove one when we're having, you know, I hear what he's saying about picking up chemicals from the counter or something like that, but I have a positive, and then I have some, I'm not going to call them skips, some testing that is missing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he also skipped another one here on the 27th. I think that's what was in the case summary, because this actual printout only goes through May 1st. So that request is denied. That request is denied, but I'm not trying to have your client like have some additional exposure because probation is either not responsive or he's having an issue with his monitor. And when I see some better compliance with the monitor, Mr. Gutierrez, I don't have a problem reconsidering that request. I want to make sure you're not in a position where you're not getting good communication from your probation officer, and that if you're having issues with your monitor, that's being attended to as well. Okay, so Mr. Ortiz, in terms of your motion, I don't have a problem if you want to come back in, I
Yes,
don't know,
ma'am.
6 months, refile it, we'll hear it again, we'll look at it. But again, if you're going to continue to represent him for sure, I want to make sure we're not going to continue to have problems. So Missy Bobbin, is she here yet?
Yes, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
there she is. Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, Missy Bobbin. So do you have Mr. Gutierrez's case queued up?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so I had a couple of questions. Mr. Gutierrez says that, I don't know, he's having trouble getting on the same page with you and had failed to report in May because he was inquiring, I believe, about the monitor and didn't get to speak with you until the end of May 27th. What's going on with Mr. Gutierrez?
When that happened, Your Honor, that they did not communicate with us, there's always an officer of the day. In the case that I'm not present, that I'm not here, I'm always talking to him and telling him what he needs to do in reference of the conditions of probation. With the device, I did call the Smart Start company. They were not able to verify if the 417 was a positive reading due to that he failed to retest on that device. The skip test that we have, the most recent one, was on the 29th of May from 10 to 12. And the report was included in there.
The
That's the
29th.
most recent one. Besides other things, Your Honor, he's been in compliance with the classes.
Did he report for May?
Excuse me?
Did he report for May?
For me, yes. Hold on, Your Honor. Let me check on that. Just give me a minute. He did, Your Honor, on the 27th.
So that's consistent. Mr. Gutierrez, this is what I'm going to do going forward. No, I'm not going to remove the monitor. Please do not fail to report. I'm going to do a review in 6 months.
Yes,
If Mr. Ortiz wants to re-urge or ask for reconsideration on removal of the monitor, that's fine. Carla has confirmed, Ms. Pineda has confirmed with me that he does not have permission to drive Mr. Ortiz. So please, I don't want any issues where he thinks otherwise, or maybe it's just from here to there, and lo and behold, he picks up a ticket and now he's really in violation of his probation. There are things your attorney can do for you, Mr. Gutierrez, before you speak about that permission. What I can tell you is if I change that, believe me, I'm not insensitive to people having to drive for work, things like that. So if that's the issue, you need to ask for permission, and that will require you having a valid driver's license and insurance. Fact of the matter is, if you don't have one, you can't drive, period, whether I say so or not.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Your Honor, but I've always had a driver's license. They never took it away, ma'am, and I gave the license to Missy Bobbin Insurance.
Stop. The order in terms of your conditions of probation is the court orders that you cannot drive, whether you had a driver's license or not. So that's something that if you want to do it, you need to request that change in your probation terms, okay? Now,
And Judge, and I'll discuss that with him. Mr. Gutierrez, make an appointment, come see me in person, and let's go over everything that was discussed today, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets confusing, Mr. Gutierrez. I get it. It gets confusing. Your attorney will help clarify. We're going to set this case for a review in 6 months. Mr. Ortiz, you need to come back sooner with something on the driving or whatever it is. Please file it and we'll get you taken care of. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Thank you, Ms. Ibabe.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Mr.
Hey,
Ortiz
Mr. Ortiz, can you give me a call? Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, sir.
Could you give me a call, or are we online right now together?
No. I want
Not
you.
here.
I want you. Let's not talk about it right now. What I want you to do is I want you to call my office, get an appointment, and I want you to come see me at my office.
Okay, all right then.
And we'll talk in private, in person.
All right, thank you.
Much better. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Gutierrez.
Sorry.
Be safe. Thank
Sorry.
you,
It's
Mr.
okay.
Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz, I think I heard him say you have one more. Who?
I think I have 2 more, no, Judge?
Yes.
Stephen Gamboa and Donovan Pace.
Mr. Gamboa is coming in.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the same. Okay. All right, Mr. Gamboa. Go ahead.
You're not gonna be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
In cause number 2020-0D03263 and 2019-0D06824 and 2022 0D00887 and 2021 0D00715 State of Texas versus Stephen Gamboa. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Ruben Ortiz on behalf of Mr. Gamboa.
And Mr. Gamboa is appearing remotely via Zoom. We are scheduled for pre-revocation hearings on the probation cases and a status conference on his new case. Okay. Let me start with Roa on the new case. Where is that case? Is it viable, or are we still gonna have it in the mix? What's going on before I get to my probation stuff?
Your Honor, for that one, let's see. There's a possession.
Okay.
I apologize. I don't know why everything. We got the lab records on March 22nd. And we have in 3.19 grams of cocaine. I have not put a rec on there because I wanted to see what is probation recommending.
On the probation cases, we have bench warrants on all of those? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor, and in fact, I believe motion to adjudicate has been filed.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ortiz, what are you wanting? Your client has a problem? Do we need treatment?
No, Judge, I think that there's an issue with the case against him. The substance was found I mean, he was with somebody else. So, I mean, the possession's not that easy to prove. I don't know why everyone thinks they're so easy to prove. You know, you have to prove not only knowledge, but you have to prove the actual custody control. I mean, anybody could pretty much be an actual custody control, but it's in a room or in a car or in a vehicle or anything like that. However, if there's other people with you, if the car doesn't belong, I mean, there's links, arguments that you can make with jurors. In this case, I believe there's reasonable doubt to link them, the knowledge. I don't think they can prove the knowledge, Your Honor, or there's reasonable doubt as to the knowledge.
So going back to the probation cases, obviously the new case, will kind of run its course. But looking at the motions to adjudicate, we didn't have any issues, Carla, with his reporting or anything like that, right? I mean, basically he picks up this new case. I think there were some, technicals in terms of fine but nothing where he failed to report. Is that right? Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to mute you. Okay. Just because there's a lot of background noise. Thanks. Go ahead, Carla.
Yes, Your Honor, you are correct. He had been reporting as instructed. There hadn't been any positive UAs that probation noted on this report. He has completed the theft class. His anger management and drug education class was completed as well. He did attend his TAB referral initially when he was placed on probation. It was just this new rearrest from April.
And he still continued to report. He was placed on probation last year. So here's where I am on this one. I see the recommendation is just to increase some testing on him, and I'll let that new case play out however it's going to play out. So a couple of things. Let's go ahead and modify him. I'm not going to limit it to 3 months. We're just going to do the testing twice a month, period. That'll be the modification. I want to cancel out the warrant and dismiss the motions to adjudicate. Mr. Gamboa, your attorney will be handling the new case, Myrna, for our scheduling purposes. I don't even know if I need to carry the probation cases other than with maybe the final hearing plea deadline. Like if we have our upcoming dates on the new cases, I don't need the probation cases to come up all that time. What I will need to know is once we get to an actual trial date, if we're going to trial or whatever, just to know that we still have him on probation. Okay. So Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so Mr. Gamboa, they're gonna be testing you more frequently. Please do not violate. Those will be new conditions of your probation. I don't want probation coming back and telling me he's not testing, whatever, all that stuff. Just let your attorney handle your new case and we'll go from there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ándale pues. Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you.
Your
Carla,
Honor,
go ahead.
he
Go ahead.
does have the active cases. So I'm not sure how this would be resolved as far as the pending MTA.
You're talking about the bench warrants on the probation cases or what are you talking?
They're now the MTA cases, Judge.
Oh, okay, so we need to recall those. Pure and simple.
And then
And
we
then-
would be dismissing the MTAs for the state.
Yep, and then just give me the modification on the testing. Sound good? Okay, Mr. Gamboa, if you have any questions, talk to your attorney. Otherwise, you're good to go. Thank you very much. All right, and who is Mr. Ortiz's last person?
I don't show nobody else, Mr. Ortiz.
I got it. I think Donovan Pace was scheduled today or no?
Yes, he's on page 6 for an arraignment.
Okay.
So Judge, so
Monday.
what's funny, not funny, what's weird about this case is that he's doing some federal time out of Las Cruces for a federal case. I think the last time we spoke, you all wanted some information about that. And he got a sentence of, I believe, of 8 months.
Okay.
8 months, I think. And hold on, let me see right here. I have some notes on that.
There he is, okay.
So he's been sentenced already,
Mm-hmm.
but I was called and let me see. I think he's been written over, Judge, for whatever reason. Let's see. I think he's been written over here because I got a phone call saying that he's here in El Paso at one of the detention facilities.
Let me go to
So,
the book.
Ms. King, do you know if he was written over from the feds to the state?
Let me see. I do see he's in.
I mean, I show him booked on the ag assault as of February 9th. Is there, what's that? Oh, that's a misdemeanor, okay.
I don't see any writ or anything.
And that's to reduce. I just show him booked on our case here, Mr. Ortiz. I don't see anything else. We have our settings in his jury trials in 2023. So just get us the arraignment. I mean, if he's here, just get us our waiver of arraignment if that's doable, and we'll go with our settings. You're shaking your head. What's going on?
No, I mean, because if he was rated over here, he's not gonna get credit for his federal time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Well, maybe that's something you can inquire, Ms. King, with maybe with Francie and see what's going on there. For my purposes, Mr. Ortiz, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Okay, Judge, and I'll
We're coming
okay,
back.
let me figure some things out, Judge, because
Okay.
we just found out that he was over here and he's not supposed to be here.
He
Understood.
does, Judge, I am showing that he does have some holds for other agencies though.
Yeah, so we have him, I guess, and yeah, he's probably not getting credit, so. But I don't want to say that's not my concern, but.
I'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. I'll deal with it. It's my concern. I'll deal with it.
We'll see you at the next setting. Appreciate it, Mr.
Okay, Judge. All right, I'll figure this mess out.
Ándale pues. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. Y'all
All
take
right,
care.
who's next?
With Ms. Arditi, Judge, in cause number 2020-0D00050 and 2020-0D03281 and 2022-0D00152 and 2021-0D00763, State of Texas versus Fernando Ayala. Announcement of council, please.
The King for the state of Texas.
Morning, Your Honor, Regina Arditi on behalf of Fernando Ayala.
Okay, so we apparently had some changes as of last Tuesday. This was supposed to be an in-person hearing. And I have not received anything from the local administrative judge, although I've inquired. In any event, I did cancel the transport of your client. Have you spoken to your client since Tuesday?
No, Your Honor, I had sent an email to Ms. King to see if Ms. King would agree to
Go ahead.
to the counter offer, Your Honor. I had already spoken to my client. He wanted to go to BRTC. The only thing that was holding him was these 2 cases. And so Ms. King had given a recommendation of 3 years, and I had counteroffered that to Ms. King. And so wanted to hear from Ms. King so that we could try to get this resolved.
And I saw your email. That was yesterday, I believe, around 4.
Correct.
Let's see.
I don't know if you had an opportunity to read it or even look at that, Ms. King. That's okay. But as soon as I hear from Ms. King, I can give that to my client, and then we can get back to the court and try to have him moved as quickly as possible.
I want to see, Carla, please forward me the chain of emails that you referenced in Tuesday's hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So the original rec was what, and now we've countered with what?
The original rec was 3 years straight probation, and I had asked Ms. King if she would consider dismissing one of them and letting my client plead to deferred on the other one. Because my client is 33 years old, Your Honor. He's very young. He's had a very difficult time because he does admit that he does have this substance abuse problem, Your Honor. And he says he needs help to be able to overcome that. That is the reason that he's had these criminal problems. But I do believe that he is serious at this time. He understands what's been going on. He's been in jail for a while, Judge, and he wants to straighten up. And so what I want to do is give him that opportunity to go back, go to the RTC, straighten up his life, and continue on probation. He's already on probation for 5 years on a possession of controlled substance, Your Honor, and for mail theft. So he would be, the probation department wants to keep him on probation. And I've already discussed all of this stuff with Mr. Ayala. And so he's well aware, and we've discussed the case, we've discussed all the issues. And what I had sent to Ms. King is in these last 2 cases, they were, he had failed to report in November, and he was arrested.
Ms. Arditi, hold on, I need to stop you because now I'm looking at these emails. What you represented to the court on Tuesday was that your understanding was that he was going to be screened for TAP, not BRTC.
That's correct. That is my mistake, Your Honor, and I had seen it. But Your Honor, please excuse me. I have been extremely ill these past couple of weeks and had not
The emails I have are from March 24th, I believe, March 25th.
Yes,
I mean,
Your Honor.
I really want to get to the heart of my concern here, which is, at what point are you communicating with Mr. Ayala? I was reminded that when he initially pled, it was an in-person thing as well, because the court had concerns about you communicating with Mr. Ayala.
I have been
So
communicating.
he remains in custody at least March, April, May, about 2.5 months. And as I told you on Tuesday, you were at the same spot we were at in March. And I'm not insensitive to health concerns, the other concerns that you have recently, but it's been 2 months and everybody is in agreement. I've asked about motions to suppress that you have filed. Are you waiving those? What is the status of the new cases? And all you tell me is that I'm going to get with Ms. King, but you seem to not have any regard either for the court or the amount of time your client is spending in jail when he could be in treatment.
I apologize.
What are the, because I have not heard back from the local administrative judge, I know this was a matter that came up late yesterday. When are you able to appear in?
Well, I can go ahead and send you that letter, Your Honor.
That's fine. I just want to know when you're available to appear in person.
Well, the doctor does not want me to appear in person unless it's absolutely necessary.
Is this forever or what is this?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Right now, that's what she's requesting.
Well, then I need you to really examine whether you can continue to effectively represent your client considering these limitations. I do not hear that you are making frequent phone calls, having calls over to the jail, scheduling those with your client. And I just don't see how this is going to move forward unless there is some communication there and the court is not satisfied that without bringing you in person, that this is getting done. I'll be very frank. I am very concerned. I am going to set this for 3 p.m. I need you to figure out, I'm happy to review anything or receive input from the local administrative judge, but we have gone 2 months being stuck at whether or not we can send him to BHRTC. I don't know, are the merits of the new cases, I haven't heard that you're waiving your motions to suppress. Those haven't even been attempted to be scheduled. Nothing has been done.
Well, at this time, if he agrees to those, to the counter offer, we can go ahead and set that for a plea. And I know my client has already agreed to that.
I want to be satisfied. So at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, we are having this set for a hearing, and I want to hear it from your client.
That's fine, Your Honor.
We'll see you at 3 p.m. on Tuesday.
Do you want me there in person, Your Honor?
I am not going to require that you be here in person if you're medically unable to do that. I don't have that information. I don't have the specifics. I've asked you today if it's for all the foreseeable future, and you're telling me you don't know. So now you're asking if you can appear in person. I mean, I'm not going to ask you something that's going to jeopardize you health-wise, but I don't know the specifics. You haven't told me that.
I cannot give you specifics, Your Honor, not over the video.
Well, I'm not asking you to tell me that. What I've said is we'll do it via Zoom, and now you're asking me if you want me to have you appear in person. You know, implicit in that is that you're able to. So don't tell me something that you cannot do, right?
I misunderstood. I didn't know if it was going to be by video or by in person, Your Honor.
We're going to do it by Zoom at the jail slot at 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. You're excused. Who's next?
Back on page 6, Judge.
Go ahead.
Let me bring Mr. Cooley in.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Bro.
Good morning.
In cause number 2018-0D03237, State of Texas versus Noel Cooley. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
And Myrna Pages for Mr. Noel Coley. Ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Coley is appearing remotely, at least I see his. Hi, Mr. Coley. Okay. Thank you for appearing today and for your patience, both counsel and your client. I just muted you for a second, Mr. Coley, because I see you're moving. I did receive an email communication regarding there not being devices available. Carla, do we have any other issues other than not being able to get the monitor? I know it's a supply thing. So any other issues? Are we on track? Didn't he have a TAP appointment? Is it today?
I think today, Judge, at 10 or. Okay. But he had court today, so he's been waiting.
Okay, so I'm not gonna, I know we discussed a jail commitment. I know the issues that are there with the monitor. The order will remain that he is to acquire the monitor as soon as possible. So that means a continued obligation on you, Mr. Coley, to work with the provider to get that. I am going to reset this for 30 days. You are to remain compliant with every other part of your conditions, which include all these appointments. So TAP, because I think we had an issue there too. I'm telling you, Mr. Coley, if you are not in compliance, okay, when I come back in 30 days, we're gonna do a jail commitment, okay? I don't think we're gonna have to go there. I think you expressed that you had some misunderstandings before, and I'll feel very comfortable that you got clarification, and if you don't have it, you're gonna get it either from your attorney and or probation, okay? Okay, you're muted, but I thought I saw you say yes, ma'am.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you stay in compliance with your appointments, okay? We're gonna come back in 30 days, Ms. Pages, and we're gonna see how we are on the monitor, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
Judge.
thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, who's next?
Staying with Ms. Pages, Judge. In cause number 2020-0004283, State of Texas versus Christopher Jesus Lozano. Announcement of council, please.
King for the state of Texas.
Myrna Pages from Mr. Christopher Lozano, ready, Your Honor.
Justin Escobedo with the Adult Probation Department, Your Honor.
Thank you. Give me 1 second to get to the report. I'm going all over the place with email. So let me find the case numbers. Okay. And this is Mr. Fernandez. I'm sorry, Mr. Lozano.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me look at the report. All right, I'm sorry. Did I miss this? Where's Mr. Lozano?
Page 8, page 6, Judge, middle of page 6.
No, I mean, is he in the waiting room?
No, Judge, he hasn't checked in.
Health report from March.
I did try to, I called him and I texted him, but I did not receive a response from him yesterday, which is odd because I did have communication with him the last time that we were here. I think we were here back in April. So I have not talked to Mr. Lozano.
Anyone have any more input? Let me double check something.
Your Honor, I mean, Mr. Lozano did report for the month of May on the 31st.
Okay.
I went ahead and I was able to have contact with him, Your Honor, and the court hearing link was submitted to his email address as well.
Okay. And you all are just asking for an admonishment. I'll look at that. But basically, I'm going to give him till end of tomorrow to appear. Myrna, if we do have him check in before the end of the week, then we'll reset him for 2 weeks on this setting, okay? If he does not touch base with us before the end of the week, I'll issue a bench warrant.
Yes, Judge, I will try to get a hold of him right now again. I know my secretary also tried to get a hold of him as well.
Okay.
And he did not check in this week.
Okay. All right, we'll see if he does. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
I feel like we had, who was, I did want to speak to you, Mr. Escobedo, about the gentleman that was going to that teen challenge program or whatever it is, just to get on the same page, but I don't know, is it set today?
No, Your Honor, it's for June 16.
If I'm not mistaken, Your Honor, I think it's set for the 16th, but we're going to go ahead and review the early termination, Mr. Carter.
Okay, so just hang on, Mr. Escobedo. Who else do we have on the docket?
Yes, Your Honor.
We have Fernandez Eduardo Antonio, Judge. He's in the waiting area from VHTR.
Okay, let's bring him in.
Mr. Fernandez, are you there? Mr. Fernandez, are you there? Can you unmute? Eduardo Fernandez.
Marufo, if I may, maybe he is at BHRTC.
BHRTC,
There he
right.
is.
Getting somebody to do it for him.
Yeah, he's at BHRTC. Hi, Mr.
There he is.
Fernandez. Okay, did we call it already?
No, Judge. In cause number 2020-0D04283, State of Texas excuse me, Judge, in cause number 2020-0D04102, State of Texas versus Eduardo Antonio Fernandez, announcement of council.
Well, King for the state of Texas.
And we have Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez, is that you? Can you hear us?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Fernandez is appearing from BHRTC. I don't know, is someone from BHRTC going to be there? I don't know if we need to per se. We're scheduled today for a probation status hearing. Carla, I'm looking at the summary, and I don't know if someone from BHRTC is going to be there. With some previous issues, it looks like this was, I mean, they're just recommending he complete the program, and I don't recall if I have any other reports from BHRTC.
No, Your Honor, I believe we were just following up, just to make sure, review how he was doing. This case got a little delayed in placement due to the whole signatures and all that while he was in custody, but he was admitted, and then he's been attending according to what BHRTC reported. He's been compliant with what he's doing so far in the past, 3 weeks that he's been at the facility, Judge.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I did want to ask, and I believe, and I did send Ms. Roa King a message. The MTA was to be dismissed, but I don't see it filed. So we're looking into that, Judge. I think Ms. King did send it to the court, so we're looking into seeing why it wasn't filed. But other than that, that's where we're at, Judge.
Okay, I'll try and search my emails if that's what the issue is. If not, is that just resend it. Mr. Fernandez, how you doing?
I'm great. Great.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Thank you. I know you're in treatment, so, you know, you're waiting, but I appreciate your patience. Look, I don't have anything here in terms of the recommendation other than for you to continue with your treatment with a successful discharge. So I hope it's working for you. I know it's not the best situation, but hopefully we get some issues addressed so that you're never back here. Okay. If I don't hear back from probation needing to come back, then you probably won't see me. Please just be compliant, and I wish you well.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Judge.
Take care.
All right, thank you.
All right. Who else do we have?
Mr. Hernandez is back. Don't know the reason why, Judge. Mr. Hernandez? Mr. Hernandez, are you there?
Crystal Herrera, is that what somebody told me?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I had, I guess my client wasn't on. I didn't have a good number for her, so I emailed her, and apparently she got the email. So this might be a good time to lock in the number. But it's my understanding she's in the waiting room.
Okay, that Crystal Herrera. I just have this down as a status conference. Did you all need anything else? Was there something else we were doing with Crystal Herrera?
We were waiting because the state still has a pending case that needs to be indicted, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you all need to go on the record for anything?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. In fact, the
Okay.
last